Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So reports now are emerging from the media. It's in a few media outlets that reportedly Zinedine Zidane could be one of the favourites to come and take over permanently at Manchester United at the end of the season, because reports, according to the Spanish outlet, the reports are stemming from the Spanish outlet that reportedly Manchester United have contacted Zinedine Zidane, and reportedly he is considering taking the job at Manchester United at the end of the season, according to reports. So reportedly, he's destined to come back to management next season. He's Zinedine Zidane, but I think he's capable. He's destined to come and manage in the Premier League, which he's never ever done. So reportedly, Man United have offered Zinedine Zidane the job, so he's considering whether he's going to take it or not. Because obviously, he has Juventus as one of his ambitions to go and manage. Obviously, he used to play for them as a player, and also the French national team as well, Zinedine Zidane. But potentially Manchester United have offered him the job. United have contacted Zinedine Zidane. And do you think he'd be the right manager? Do you think he'd have the right credentials to become our long-term successor at Manchester United at the end of the season? And he's been one of the names that's been one of his priority targets. Obviously, I think he'd understand the philosophy. He'd have a positive environment for the players in the club, and he has a great managerial CV. During his managerial tenure at Real Madrid, as I said, and also won honours as a player for Real Madrid and Juventus, and earlier in his when he was in his younger days, he used to play for Bordeaux as well. In his current playing career, and he's been in discussions with his representatives in the past as Zinedine Zidane of coming in to manage. Coming to manage in the Premier League as well. But Juventus have been interested in him also, Zinedine Zidane. But potentially he could be the number now that could come to Manchester United. But for the time being, as I said, for the time being, we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's here on a temporary basis. He's here for 5 months, as we all know. But I don't think Man United will give him the job permanently, whatever the outcome is, because obviously we're already 11 points behind top 4. We're 19 points behind top. But if he can, they may do. But I think Ed Woodward's long-term successor would be key. Would be to get Pochettino in or Zinedine Zidane in on a full-time basis at the end of the season. But Solskjaer's here now, interim manager, 5 months, as we all currently know. And if he can promote the youth, if we can score goals and that, and we do get good results, and we do perform the miracle, and we do get in his top 4 with his 5 months of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who knows? He may get offered the full-time job, but I can't see it happening. I think if he does get the top 4 with Manchester United, he may get offered another Premier League job in the Premier League, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But if he promotes the youth and he gets the team playing the United way, and he gets teams playing, more consistent, and the players that obviously that have been if they get some playing to the potential level, that they should be playing in, then, potentially he may have a chance of getting a United job full-time, but I don't think it will happen. Our long-term successor will either be Zinedine Zidane or Pochettino at the end of the season, as we all currently know. But Solskjaer, as I say, he can turn it around. He knows the culture of the club. He knows the traditions of the club, and and he's also, he's had an awful defensive record as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with Mould and Cardiff City. I think he was only in charge for Cardiff City for only 30 days. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know. He obviously began his career with 2 Norwegian teams as well. He's obviously managed the Manchester United reserve team as well. Won 2 Norwegian titles with Mould. He's under contract with them until 2021, as we all know. But obviously we've paid a fee of around £1.8 million to get him from Mould, as we all know. But I think he will potentially make a return back to Mould, after 5 months is up. Obviously, but in this 5 months, he's interim manager now. He's got a lot of things to sort out, like getting on and off the pitch, like getting contract renewals, get the team playing the way they should be, investing in January, getting a couple of players into the teams. Maybe players may leave as well, and contract renewals, building up the team, as I said. And get Manchester United playing the way they should be, building up the team, thinking about contract renewals, thinking about buying. So there's lots and lots to do in that team for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. And obviously he's got to think about his lineup, his tactics, also, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he knows the culture club. He's here from 1996 to 2007, so he was here 11 years, as we all currently know, and he won quite a lot of honours. He scored 126 goals in 366 appearances in all competitions. So So he was a great player. As we all know, Man United are still seeking the director of football as well. Because obviously when Ferguson retired in 2013, that 25 years success we had with him and all them great players he had, we lost the director of football as well. But Man United are in search for the director of football. Paul Mitchell, reportedly, I think he's called Paul Mitchell. He could be in line to take the role of being director of football at Manchester United, as they currently said. But Zinedine Zidane's reportedly been offered the Manchester United job permanently at the end of the season. I think he's destined to come to the Premier League. He has been managerless 6 months, stepped down as Real Madrid manager back in May. And I think he does understand philosophy. And I think, he can make the most out of these big money signings, that we did, what we got under Jose Mourinho, because over £400 million being spent. Obviously under the Mourinho era, £700-800 million in all the managerial eras, I think, like since Alex Ferguson retired, as we all currently know. But yeah, reportedly United have contacted Zinedine Zidane over this, and reportedly he's considering whether he's going to come or not. But he is at the top of our radar to essentially come Manchester United's full-time successor at the club. Maybe if we can guarantee him some players, he may consider coming in, as I said. But another name's been mentioned, Mauricio Pochettino has been mentioned. According to Alex Ferguson, obviously won 38 trophies, while he was here for like 25, 26, 27 years or whatever it was. He confirmed he'd be the right candidate, Pochettino. Gary Neville's perspective, he thinks Pochettino would be the right candidate as well for Manchester United. Pochettino's well Premier League proven. He has been in the Premier League 7 years, but it would cost Man United in the region of around £35-40 million to get him at the end of the season. But I don't think Pochettino, he may not want to come because he did say he's happy at the club. He's fully committed at Tottenham Hotspur, as he said, and he's got a good bunch of players there. Tottenham's mainly built all around Pochettino, as we all know, because a lot of them players there, he has got a lot of good young players. He's good at developing young players as well. He's highly experienced in the Premier League. But he's only spent £50 million since 2014. As we all know, he's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham worth £8 million per season, or something like that. But we have been linked with him, and he could be one of the favourites to come in as well, because he's proven in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League 7 years. He's been managing since 2009. He's also in his early managerial career, he managed Espanyol for a good few years as well. He obviously played for them in his playing career as well, Espanyol, and Newell Old Boys and Bordeaux and Paris Saint-Germain during his playing career. But Pochettino, I can't really, I think he's happy at Tottenham, but it is a big, massive club this historically. So it may be a hard job for him to turn down, but I think he just feels as though he's happy at Tottenham Hotspur, does Mauricio Pochettino, as well as also an ex-Southampton player as well. But there has been talks, there could be the two favourable managers to come in at the end of the season on a full-time basis, as I said, but it will cost the club £35-40 million to get Pochettino in at the end of the season. But reportedly Man United have actually contacted Zinedine Zidane. They've offered him the Manchester United job, and I think he's considering it. I don't think he said he's going to accept it, but I think he's considering it very, very much. It would be good to come and see him managing the Premier League and manage amongst different players and stuff like that, because he's never had that experience of playing or managing in the Premier League, Zinedine Zidane. So do you think he'd do a good job? Do you think he'd have the correct philosophy? Do you think he'd be able to get the team playing, the way they should be playing, as we all currently know? But Solskjaer, would he get the Manchester United job on a permanent basis? I don't think so, reportedly. But depending on the outcome, even if we do really, really well and we get the results, the team are performing, the team are working hard as a team, I still don't think he will get it, because I think Ed Woodward and the board have got their mind set on either Pochettino coming in as a full-time successor at the end of the season, or Zinedine Zidane. We know other names have been mentioned as well, such as Laurent Blanc has been mentioned as well, Leonardo Jardim as well, who was sacked from Monaco earlier this year. But we know what's his name? We know Jardim was sacked from Monaco early on this year, but we know Laurent Blanc's been mentioned as well. Obviously, has a good relationship with Fergie, as we all currently know, because he used to play for Manchester United as a player. He was at Manchester United a couple of years, was Laurent Blanc, as we all know, and he's managed France at the top level, as we all know. I think he stepped down as Paris Saint-Germain manager in 2016. Also an ex-Bordeaux manager as well, also managed a French national team as well. Laurent Blanc. But yeah, won a lot of honours, won a lot of individual awards, so he's got a good pedigree behind him. But again, never managed in the Premier League. As I said, be a brand new era to him if he was to come in. But his name's been mentioned as well. Today, reports have been coming out about Jardim as well. He's been potentially on the list. He's good at developing young players as well, and he had a good when he was at Monaco. He had a good set of young players who were performing very, very well for Monaco. But Monaco lost them last year, wasn't it? So quite a few Premier League teams bought quite a few of their best players, as we all currently know. But we also know today that reports have been coming out that Conte would be capable of taking the job. As I give you my opinions on my last video, that I wouldn't want Conte to come into the job at Manchester United. He's proven in the Premier League because he won the Premier League and FA Cup and that with Chelsea. You know, he managed Italy, he managed Atlanta, and he managed Juventus, and he's won quite a few individual awards. He used to play for Juventus as a player as well, did Antonio Conte, as I said. But reportedly, he'd take the job, according to the press, if, you know, Man United failed to, like, land Pochettino at the end of the season. He'd come into the job. Not for me. I'd have reservations about him coming in, and he just wouldn't be my number one choice, would Conte coming in. But I know his name hasn't been mentioned as well. But we know a lot of names have been mentioned in the heart. Man United will, whilst we've got Solskjaer, we'll be working on it, planning. We'll be trying to we'll be recruiting of who to get in as our long-term successor at the end of the season. I can't see Solskjaer getting the job permanently unless he does a massive, great job. Then the board and the owners may consider it. But reportedly, Solskjaer is going to get around a £50 million spending spree to spend in January. But Ed Woodward is backing him for the January transfer window. He has got a few priority targets. Reportedly, we want to go for a centre-back, a strong centre-back that we do need, and a winger as well has been mentioned in the process. But reportedly, he's going to get around £50 million as well as Solskjaer to spend on the team. We maybe could see players go as well. But and also he needs to think about contract renewals as well, because we have got a catalogue of players that are coming to the end of their deals as well. But we need to see under Solskjaer this attacking football, this spirit, you know, that we saw under Alex Ferguson. Since then, we haven't seen it. We didn't see it under Moyes. We didn't see it under Van Gaal. We didn't really see it under Jose Mourinho. Only thing I credited Mourinho for winning 2 trophies in his first season. As I said, but that's about it really. But anyway, now we know Jose Mourinho's forgot about, and now we're looking forward to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. But yeah, Toby Alderweireld is a name that's been mentioned. That could cost Man United in the region of up to £30 million if we want to go from in January. I said I have reservations about Toby Alderweireld. He is proven in the Premier League. Of course, he's an ex-Ajax player, an ex-Atletico Madrid player. He's been in the Premier League a good 4 or 5 years as well. He's been at Southampton in the past. He did say he reportedly had a 25 million release clause next summer, did Toby Alderweireld. But we know how reluctant Tottenham are to sanction their best players off, as we all know. But I think a bid of around £30-40 million in January could convince Tottenham to cash in on him and let him go, because there has been no signs of him signing a new contract, Toby Alderweireld. But they still have other options at the back of Tottenham. They've got Davinson Sanchez, and obviously they've got Vertonghen and all that. And I think Tottenham have got a very, very good squad. They've got a lot of good young players in that squad that, you know, Pochettino's developed very, very well. And all credit to Pochettino, to quite fair. But yeah, he's a potential Manchester United target. But he did say in the press yesterday, just hours before Jose Mourinho's sacking, that Man United were actually planning to get a centre half in and a winger in hours before Jose Mourinho was sacked, of course. But obviously, we need to get the signings we want in. Obviously, we haven't been getting as many targets, especially under Mourinho. Obviously, because during the course of the summer, the board weren't backing some of the signings what Jose Mourinho currently wanted, as we all currently know. And he did sign a full team, did Jose Mourinho. You know, he bought 11 players. He spent over £400 million, I think. But yeah, he's gone now. As I said, you know, he got second last season with us, managed 144 games, as we all know, won 84 of them games. But I just don't think the club suited he suited the strappings of the club. You know, potentially he had disputes with a lot of the top players, especially Paul Pogba. Reportedly, Paul Pogba celebrated that Jose Mourinho's gone. And obviously, I always used to discuss about what he'd achieved and what he'd won and his overall history and stuff like that. And the only thing I credited for Mourinho for, he's still a fantastic manager. As I said, because he's won out titles everywhere he's been. as we all currently know. And Gary Neville, feels as though he will get a top level job somewhere else. As I currently said, but reportedly Real Madrid want to take him back to the Bernabeu next summer, reportedly, and they're going to willing to offer him £18 million per year for him to go back to the Bernabeu. But now, third manager sacked this season. Ed Woodward had basically sacked him Tuesday morning, at the training complex. He had told him. But all I couldn't understand is why they give Mourinho the contract until 2020 anywhere. That's something I couldn't understand. And they give him a payoff of around £22 million, as we all currently know, guys. But yeah, as we all know, he has currently gone now, as we said. But yeah, and it said in the press yesterday, according to the press yesterday, it said Man United had put around a staggering £95 million bidding for Napoli's Koulibaly, reportedly. This had been put in whilst Jose Mourinho was still manager, because the Napoli president, from his own perspective, had actually confirmed it. And he is a very, very good central defender. I don't think Man United are going to move for him in January, because he is he is expensive. They rate him at around £90 million, the Napoli. He's been very, very good in the Champions League. He adapts every area of his game very, very well. But the most expensive defender at the moment is Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, as we all know. But as I said, Koulibaly is on the contract with Napoli to 2023. He made his international senior debut in 2015. He's made like 29 appearances for Senegal. He's been nominated African Footballer of the Year as well, Koulibaly. But Ed Woodward had been in discussions with the officials of Napoli over this. Man United have now reportedly had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly. But now we're turning his attentions on Toby Alderweireld's one of his targets. Also, what we mentioned in the press yesterday was Douglas Costa. That reportedly Man United could move for him, because Man United are looking for a winger. Douglas Costa's been mentioned. He's a Juventus player. Juventus signed him permanently since June this year. They signed him permanently because last season he was on a 1-year loan deal with Juventus. As I said, very, very good player. In his younger days, plays attacking midfielder. He can play on each flank as well. He's good at running forward, good on the ball, very agile, got a lot of tenacity about his play as well. And he's another player that's never played in the Premier League, but reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in Douglas Costa. Obviously, he won the domestic double in his first season, Juventus as well. Also was Bayern Munich, who won 2 titles with Bayern Munich. I think he was there 2 or 3 years with Bayern Munich. When he was at Shakhtar Donetsk, he won quite a lot of honours, in his younger days, when he was in his younger prime years. He won the domestic treble and quite a few other honours as well. And he actually began his career with Gramero, did Douglas Costa. But reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in him as well. But there's a few wingers I'd like at Manchester United, because that right-hand side needs addressing. And we need a winger. We do need a winger, as I said, because you put Sanchez when he's playing on the wing. We know he's injured till January, but Sanchez hasn't really delivered the goods since he's come United. We know he's injured till January, but he could leave in the January window as well, as we all know. But yeah, Man United reportedly being linked with Costa. Another target as a winger who Manchester United were linked with was Ivan Perisic. We were linked with him since last summer. We never got a deal over the line with Perisic. I think we had a couple of bids turned down, because Inter Milan were demanding the one at around £48 million for Ivan Perisic. Man United were reluctant to pay it, but he is highly experienced. He's good at putting crosses into the box. But Douglas Costa has got good crossing ability, and he's fast on the ball, and he can put decent crosses into the box as well. And he's got a lot of tenacity in his play in the midfield. But Perisic is an ex-Club Brugge player, Dortmund player as well. And he's won silverware with them, and he's an ex-Wolfsburg player. I think he's been in Milan since like 2015. His versatility is good, though. He's not world-class, but his versatility is very, very good. He can play on the left, in the wing. He can play as second striker, and you can put him in an attacking midfield position as well, Ivan Perisic. And that's someone who I did want at Manchester United, obviously last summer when we were linked with him. Obviously, Inter Milan under financial fair play regulations. I don't think they can officially buy players in January. I might be wrong due to their financial fair play, but they have to obviously, they're looking to invest some money into their club, as I said, because they want to avoid financial fair play sanctions into Milan, as I said. But he'd have been a winger I'd have loved at Manchester United as well. But saying the brilliance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can turn these players, more consistent and play to the potential level, because David De Gea is the only one that's been playing to his potential level. But all eyes are going to be mainly now on Paul Pogba, because Pogba was, he had bad disputes with Mourinho whilst he was here. He's obviously been, has been inconsistent mainly since he's come to United. He's had the odd couple of games here and there. Gavin Everlow, I think I respect him. He won 16 trophies, at Manchester United when he was in his playing career, and I respect him. He's a very, very good pundit. He did say Paul Pogba he can be a very, very good player. He said Manchester United do look better with Paul Pogba in the team. That obviously the midfield looks more balanced, and when he's on form, it's like two players in one in that midfield, with Paul Pogba, as I said. But we'll see how he performs. Will he get the captain's armband? As I say, see how he performs under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And if he becomes consistent, then I'll be happy for him to stay. If he doesn't prove to be consistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, then I think Manchester United need to consider getting Paul Pogba out of the club. But it just depends how he forms. He will get that game time under Solskjaer. I know it. Same with Lukaku, who we paid 75, 90 million. I think it was 90 million pounds all in all we paid for him. He's proven in the Premier League, been playing senior football since the age of 16. Well proven in the Premier League. His first touch is not good. He's too slow on the ball. He hasn't got much tempo to his play, as we all know. So hopefully, the brilliance again of Solskjaer can somehow try to get him to replicate his form that he did in his first season. When he scored 27 goals, Romelu Lukaku. But if these players, don't, show the consistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, then I would basically consider getting rid of them. That would be my potential option, as I currently said. And I know hopefully the brilliance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can improve the likes of Rashford and Martial, even though Martial suffered an injury recently and he missed the last couple of games. I know he came on against Liverpool, but Martial, as I said, he's still a very, very good player. He's been our best outfield player this season without a shadow of a doubt when he has been fully fit. And so too has Rashford. He's been very, very good and been a Manchester United player since the age of 7. He's under contract here till 2020. But I think they'll grow and develop fantastically more under Solskjaer. Well, look, I think they will, under Solskjaer, because as I said, Solskjaer knows the culture of the club, he knows the traditions of the club, as I said. So, yeah, hopefully players can improve, perform the United way, and, so we'll see how he does within 5 months, and... But obviously, when Solskjaer's come into the job, as interim manager after Mourinho being sacked, he knows Solskjaer's aware of all the problems. Solskjaer's happy and fulfilling this interim role at Manchester United. He's very, very happy about this. Ed Woodward's happy about it. And a lot of people are happy about Solskjaer coming as interim manager, but it's not easy because there's a lot of problems at the club. There's been problems since Ferguson retired, and all the problems have stemmed from the David Moyes era. That's where all the problems have stemmed from. But hopefully, Solskjaer's it's going to be a hard job for him because he's got contract renewals to sort out, getting some players in January, maybe players going. He's got to sort out his lineup, his tactics, try and get the team playing the football, the entertaining football, that should be playing. So it is a huge, huge task for Solskjaer. And if he does succeed and we get the right results and we do perform very, very well and get the team playing as a team very, very well, then I praise him for that. And then people may turn around and say, should Solskjaer get the job permanently? I don't think he will, though, but if he does, get into the top 4 with United, which is going to be nearly a miracle now because we're so far behind, then I think he may get offered another Premier League job, as I said, but I can't see them giving him the job permanently, whatever happens. But even if we don't do well, we haven't lost out anywhere because he's only interim manager anyway, and obviously we're waiting to appoint a new manager officially at the end of the season, as I currently said, guys. But we need the right man to come in at the end of the season to sort all the problems out, get the team competing, get the team up there and challenging for major honours because this club has been all about that, especially when we had Ferguson for 25 years or so. It was 26, 27 years or something. Feeling is the assistant as well, obviously the former assistant of Alex Ferguson, as we all know, and Carrick's going to be there as well. But yeah, reportedly Man United have contacted Zinedine Zidane. Reportedly, he could be the favoured to come in at United. I think he's still considering whether I think it's confirmed he's going to be back in management at the start of the 2019 season, 2019-2020 season. I think he's destined to come to manage in the Premier League. But yeah, Juventus are still on his radar. I think he has strong ambitions of maybe going to Juventus because obviously he's had experience with Juventus as playing for them as a player, as we all know. And there's been talks about that. There's been talks about the French national team, but the Spanish outlet have reported on it. That reportedly, well, what I've just seen, that reportedly Man United are willing to offer him the job. But whether he accepts it or not, I do not know. I think he could accept it. If we don't land Pochettino, then Zinedine Zidane may be interested in coming in to take the role at Manchester United. But yeah, as I said, there could be still a few players leaving, like Pereira. He's in talks about leaving because he hasn't been getting the game time this season, Andres Pereira, so he could leave Man United. Especially, less, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gives him the game time. He wants him here, stay at Man United. There's been no sign of him signing a new contract. I think he turned down a contract. Man United offered him a 3-year contract. I think Pereira turned it down. You got Fred, who we got during the course of the summer. He hasn't been getting enough game time as well. Well, I think, Solskjaer may give him more game time. While Matt hasn't been getting first team football from the start this season much. So I wonder if he's going to give him more game time, as I said. But it's going to be interesting to see. There could be quite a few players leaving, like Antonio Valencia could leave as well. Because obviously he's now 33 and he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be first choice anymore. You've got Diego Doyle, who I think Solskjaer's going to go because obviously Diego Doyle's in his prime. He's only 19 years of age, as we all know. I thought he put an outstanding performance in against Fulham. And I think he'll put Luke Shaw at full back. So I think he'll put Luke Shaw at left back, Diego Doyle at right back. Luke Shaw obviously has been injured, I think, but he could be returning for the game on Saturday. And I think he should go with the centre-back partnership of Bailey and Victor Lindelof. I think Smalling's injured as well. Rojo's injured. As we all know, we know Sanchez is out until January, as we all know. And, I would put Luke Shaw and Doyle at them fullbacks so they can make them runs, them overlapping runs for the likes of Martial, Rashford, Jesse Lingard. And he could, go with a 4-2-3-1 on Saturday. He could go with a 4-3-3 because Jose Mourinho used to sometimes go with 4-2-3-1s or used to go with 4-3-3, but never went. I can't remember Mourinho ever going with a standard formation of 4-4-2. But we know Solskjaer loves attacking football. He loves attacking flair football, and he also loves the width as well. He does like the width, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So this is what makes me think he'll put Luke Shaw and Dalot at left back and put probably Martial and Rashford on the left wing. Martial on the left wing, Rashford on the right wing. As I said, and probably Lukaku up top in the midfield, probably Herrera, Pogba, or maybe Fred, Pogba or something like that. That's who I think he will go with. Maybe Mason Greenwood may get the chance because he's done very, very well for the reserve, so he's upcoming, as I said. So hopefully if Solskjaer does a good job, they may give him the job on a permanent basis. But as I said, Cardiff, Manchester United, as I did my preview earlier on, it should be Manchester United win. Obviously, he wasn't very, very good at Cardiff as manager, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, the last time the two sides met was back in 2014. We won 2-0. It was 2-2 at their stadium. Cardiff have only won 4 out of 17 games. They've also drawn 2 as well and lost 11 so far this season. They have got a few injury problems. They've got Jazz Richards out, I think. They've got Daniel Ward as well, I think. They've got Greg Cunningham out as well, but I think he's set to return for Cardiff. The last time we lost to Cardiff was actually back in 1960, as we all currently know. And obviously they've won 4 of the last 5 home games of Cardiff City, as we all know. But they're a poor outfit. I think they potentially will go back down there. They are sitting 16th in the league, as we all currently know. But we've got enough quality in that team. Now, obviously, we've got a new interim manager to go and beat Cardiff City, as we all currently know. But Cardiff, as I said, obviously Neil Warnock's their manager. He's failed to win in the last 7 encounters against Manchester United. Obviously, he does hold the record of the most promotions in English football, to be quite fair, because he has managed a lot of teams. As I said, he played for a lot of teams in his playing career as well, did Neil Warnock. But yeah, we've got a busy Christmas period. We've got games coming up thick and fast, and these are games that Manchester United, should potentially win. Even if we are sitting 6th, potentially, these are games that Manchester United should win, as we all currently know. But as I said, there's a few winners I'd also be interested in. I'd like Christian Pulisic. I'm a big fan of Christian Pulisic, as I said, but it's Chelsea and Liverpool that I'm interested in him. Did say Man United were slightly interested, but he hasn't been a main priority target. Christian Pulisic, as I said, he's under contract with Dortmund until 2020. He's been in the senior squad since 2016, so he has risen up the youth system very, very well with Borussia Dortmund. As Pulisic, it's Chelsea and Liverpool that are the teams that are interested in him. Obviously, they were the big spenders during the course of last summer, Chelsea and Liverpool, as we all know. But Christian Pulisic, as I said, it reportedly said Chelsea were actually the favourites to sign him. From the player's perspective, he wanted to join Chelsea, but Liverpool are still interested in Christian Pulisic. As we all know, and he's only 20 years of age, so he still needs to grow and develop more. And it would be good to come and see him experience the Premier League, experience new facilities, play amongst different players in the Premier League. And he's 20 years of old and 20 years of age, and he has the ranks fantastically well with Borussia Dortmund as the player. But he would cost in the region reportedly of around 50-60 million. Borussia Dortmund confirmed this to persuade Borussia Dortmund to offload him. According to Borussia Dortmund, they're not willing to do any business in January. But Chelsea reportedly want to agree a fee for him in January and then officially sign him next summer. Christian Pulisic, he can play attacking mid. He can play out wide as well. Liverpool have been interested in him. For me, Liverpool have got a very, very good team. Klopp's invested in that team in the last couple of years, and they have got huge talent in that squad of Liverpool, as we all currently know. But obviously, Klopp knows about Christian Pulisic because he's worked for him in the past. When Klopp was at Dortmund, and also the Americas, the owners of Liverpool, FSG, are American. So too, Christian Pulisic, the player, is American as well, as we all currently know. But Liverpool and Chelsea have been closely monitoring and interested in Christian Pulisic, and I think he's keen on coming to the Premier League, and I think he'd do very, very well. And obviously Chelsea have identified him because they could see a couple of their players leave, whether next summer or January. There's been rumours about Hazard, and Alvaro Morata's out of favour now at Chelsea, as we all know. But as we updated you earlier on, guys, about Liverpool are also interested in Isanya, Lorenzo Isanya, a Napoli winger. He can play on each flank. You can play him through the middle. Do you think he'd complement Liverpool's team fantastically well? As I said, because they've got great players like Salah, Mane, Firmino. They're a good attacking trio, them three. As I said, I think Salah, for me, potentially the best player in the Premier League. He's fast, he's quick, he's good on the ball, his finishing's absolutely immense. Good at going around defenders, good at beating defenders. Amazing player. As I said, great number 11 for Liverpool. But they're still looking for reinforcements. I don't think Klopp would be too bothered if they didn't get anyone in January because they have got a good squad. But Lorenzo Insigne has been mentioned. Reportedly, it would take a huge bid from Liverpool to get him. He's mainly been at Napoli the most of his playing career as Lorenzo Isanya. He's another potential winner who I'd like at Manchester United. We aren't linked to him, but according to his stats I've seen, he looks a potential good winger as well. He's been at Napoli most of his playing career. As I said, he's been at Napoli most of his playing career. He began his professional career with them in 2009, made his debut in 2010. Also, he went to a couple of teams on loan and then he returned back to Napoli in 2012. He still has 4 years remaining on his contract. But Liverpool have made an approach for Lorenzo Isanya from Napoli as well. I think Napoli have got quite a few players in this area, to be quite fair. But yeah, Liverpool have also been linked with him as well. Also, too, Chelsea have been interested in Isco as well from Real Madrid. He's another potential target that Chelsea have been interested in because Xavi's still looking to bolster his team up because he has got quite a few aging players in his team now. Reportedly, Xavi is interested in Isco from Real Madrid. Isco does have a 600-odd million release clause, pound sterling. Chelsea want to get a deal over the line for him for around £70 million. He has been at Real Madrid since 2013, so he has been there a good 6 years now as the player. And reportedly, he's under contract with Real Madrid to 2022. He's supposed to be a very, very good attacking midfielder, but since Santiago Solari took charge of Real Madrid, he's not getting the game time and he's out of favour at Real Madrid. He's never ever played in Premier League. Obviously, he's an ex-Valencia player as well. He mainly played in the reserve team for them. He used to work with Manuel Pellegrini whilst he was at Malaga. He had a couple of years at Malaga, I think, did Isco as well. He's won quite a few individual awards. I think he's won 4 Champions League Real Madrid or something like that as Isco. But he's a very, very good midfielder. I think he's an attacking midfielder, is Isco, as I said. But yeah, Chelsea have also been interested in him as well. But yeah, as I said, it's not long now until the transfer window opens now. As I said, but there is a few winners I'd love at Manchester United. Reported the latest name has been mentioned is Douglas Costa. Do you think he'd complement our team well? Do you think he'd put them good crosses into the box? He's known for crossing. His crossing is supposed to be very, very good. But I still think we need a prolific striker. We do need a striker as a backup option for Lukaku, unless Solskjaer can, improve, and make these players, more consistent. But yeah, we still need reinforcements. But there's lots and lots to do. There's lots of work to do at Manchester United. The fans are obviously happy, with Solskjaer because now he's got that reunion with Manchester United, as we all currently know. But yeah, Cardiff, Manchester United is at 5:30 on Saturday. I'm looking really, really forward to it. I think we're going to get 70-80% better out of the players, in my opinion. That's just my opinion because we didn't see it under Jose Mourinho. Wasn't even getting most of the time even 40% out of them players under Jose Mourinho. But now we've got someone else in for the time being, which is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He obviously was the favourite to get appointed as the caretaker manager anyway, which is very, very good. I think, depending on how he progresses, I think either way he's going to be returning back to mould. If he does a fantastic job, he may get the job on a permanent basis, which I can't see happening. Or he may get offered another job in the Premier League if he does do well in his 5-month period with Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he knows the traditions of the club. It's not like he doesn't know all about the club. He knows the club. He loves the club. He played amongst good players here, under Alex Ferguson. Obviously in the 1999 final, he scored the winner, and Solskjaer has won it. Yeah, we all hear about that, as we all know. But anyway, the breaking news about this live video is Zinedine Zidane reportedly Man United have offered him the job. I think he's contemplating the offer. He's considering whether he's going to accept it or not. But there's still other opportunities out there for Zinedine Zidane to go and manage. To Juventus are on his radar. He has ambitions about that. The French national team. He did say quite a few weeks ago, whenever it was, that Bayern Munich were interested in appointing him as well. But do you think he'd have the right stature to command Manchester United in that position? If he was actually, to come to the club. But we will find out. But as I said, according to Neville, the long-term successor, Pochettino, would be his right candidate for him. Ferguson would love to see him come to Manchester United as well. He's his favourite candidate, and he thinks Pochettino would be suitable as our full-time successor at the end of the season at Manchester United. But I think it's going to be either Zinedine Zidane. It's going to be either Zinedine Zidane or it's going to be Pochettino. I think they are the two favourites. Now, recently today in the press, Conte has been mentioned. Not for me. I'd have a lot of negativity around him coming to the club. But he wouldn't be my ideal choice. I think there's so much better out there. But we needed the right manager who's got a good pedigree, who's highly experienced, won a lot of silverware in his time. Not a manager that's never. We don't want a manager that's never really managed at the top level or never dealt with top players and doesn't really play good attacking football. That's me with Eddie Howe. I wouldn't, want Eddie Howe at Manchester United. He's never managed at the top. He's been at Bournemouth for the majority of his career. He's managed them for a lot. For the majority of his career, as we all know. But yeah, there's a few managers' names in the hat. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. I think Bailey may be getting more game time now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, which will be good to see. And he gets Toby Alderweireld in January. I think Toby Alderweireld will start in our centre back position if you put him alongside Bailly or Lindelof. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And Douglas Costa's a rumour that just was stemming from the media outlets yesterday, him being linked with a move to Old Trafford. But yeah, so anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, guys, and take care. God bless. I'll see you all again very, very soon.